Hi, Teacher Riga here, back again to promote my IGCSE First Language English online tuition. I teach year 6 to year 11, so if you're interested in working together to score that A star, feel free to WhatsApp me today. Now, let's talk about paper 2, because you have two options. Depending on the international school you're in and the teacher you have, you will either be made to do the exam or coursework, right? And regardless, everyone has to do paper 1. That's an exam. So that's 80 marks, 50%, but then you can choose, right? Either exam or coursework, it's also 80 marks and 50%. But how is it different? Well, the exam, that's high stakes, high pressure. You have 2 hours, right? And you have to write. No help from anyone, right? But then for the coursework, it's a bit more flexible in that you have a couple months, couple weeks to do it. You can take it home, you can get help from online. Of course, ultimately, it has to be in your own words. And then what's cool is that your teacher will be reading your first drafts or even second drafts and giving you feedback so you can go back in and edit and improve your essays. So that's what happens in coursework, right? But then in terms of the sections, you will always be learning these 3 types of writing. First is directed writing. That one, you're given a text and you have to read it carefully, get all the main points, and read in between the lines and, have your own opinions and points as well. So we call that explicit and implicit points, right? So that's directed writing. But then after that, you have composition. This one, no reading, it's all about your writing. But you'll be learning descriptive writing and narrative writing. So when it comes to the exam, you only have 2 hours. You are only asked to do 2 pieces of writing. Of course, you must do your directed writing, but you can choose. You'll be given 2 descriptive writing questions, 2 narrative writing questions. You can choose your favorite one and write 1 big essay there. So you only have to write 2 essays in that 2 hours. However, if you choose coursework, regardless, you must write 3 essays. You have to get a directed writing essay, 1 descriptive writing essay, and 1 narrative writing essay. So 3 essays there. And even in terms of word count, they differ. For directed writing, you're recommended to write 250 to 350 words, and for the composition, you're recommended to write 350 to 450 words, right? But then for coursework, since you have a lot of time and a lot of help, you are recommended to write 500 words to 800 words, okay? So the word count is different, and even the mark scheme will be a little different, right? Because we have to get to 80 marks at the end for both. So for the exam, when it comes to directed writing, you'll get 40 marks, composition 40 marks. So 40 plus 40, 80 marks. If you want to know the breakdown for directed writing, writing is 25 marks, reading is 15 marks. For composition, because it's all about writing, they divide it in terms of content and structure, that's 16 marks, and then style and accuracy, that's 24 marks. Okay? But then when it comes to the coursework, since you have 3 essays, right? So directed writing, you get 30 marks, and then descriptive writing, 25 marks, narrative writing, 25 marks. So 30 plus 25 plus 25 equals 80 marks, right? But the breakdown is a bit different as well, because the marks are a little different, right? So directed writing, 30 marks, reading is 15 marks, writing is 15 marks. And then for the composition, right? The descriptive and the narrative, that one, the content and structure is 10 marks, style and accuracy, 15 marks, right? So the marks are a little different, but ultimately both of them get you to 80 marks. So yes, you will either have the exam or coursework option, and I can prepare you for both. So if you need more tips and techniques, if you want that effective feedback, if you want that past year paper practice, WhatsApp me today and let's make it happen.